Okay, let's kick it off, I guess. $2.7 million for our boy. First hand, we are 6 people left, 2 guys busted. We are last in chips. We have 10.5 big blinds on the button. And we have 3 questions for the spot. First one is, which hands should we jam in the spot? Samu had 7-9 suited here. He was thinking about it, wasn't too sure what to do. And Samu decided to fold. So let's see if he was right. So again, which hands should we jam on the button? Ace 3 off, pocket deuces, 7-9 suited, or pocket checks. Only ace 3 off and the pocket deuces are right. So as you can see, Samu made the right decision. And pocket checks are too strong. We don't want to jam them, we want to raise them. Here you can see the button first in range. As you can see, just the top range raises. It's important to know that we rather want to raise none other than the suited hands because they play better post flop. All of the offsuit, strong a6 are jamming, even ace king off mainly. Then we are raising tens for value, raising some of the bottom hands, non-all-in, and like those suited hands.
How much is a 7-9 suited jam losing?
Minus 2.5k, so not that much. Alright, hand number 3, quite an interesting one. Now we are sitting in the big blind and it folds to Smilkovic on the button, who is the chip leader with almost 50 blinds. The small blind has around 14 blinds and we have 20 in the big blind. My first question is, which hands should the button jam? Should he jam Jack 10 suited, what he has here? Should he jam Ace 5 off? Should he jam pocket deuces? Or should he have no jams at all? And he can jam all of those hands and can be quite aggressive actually. You can see he decided also to open jam, so he made the right move. And now Samu is sitting in the big blind with ace jack offsuit. So I want to know of you guys, what is the big blind calling range versus the button jam? So should the big blind call ace 10 off, ace jack off, what Samu has, pocket 5s or pocket 7s?
Snap it away.
And it's only ace 10 off and ace jack off, no pocket pairs. As you can see here, like 8s are already very close, 7s are like clearly losing, ace 10 off profitable, ace jack off profitable. And if we look at the open jamming range, as Samu already said, we are just dominating all of the suited broadways, suited 9x and so on. And for pocket pairs, it's only like 5s, 4s, 3s and deuces, and then we flip against this entire range and we don't really want that. So we rather choose hands where we dominate a lot of hands.
Not very practical, by the way. Like I would say people jam probably slightly less in the suited region and definitely jam the pairs. So I think in practice you probably lean more towards calling 7s and less towards calling ace 10.
But I also think they jam more offsuit a6, higher frequency.
Yeah, fair point. I think you probably call both, to be honest. I think you probably call 7s and ace 10.
Okay. This one, I actually loved it, because this is the hand right after this one, so we just doubled up. Miller open raises again, we have ace 7 off, we just collected all of our chips and are already into it again and decide to find the bluff 3-bet. So maybe showing the stacks quickly again. We are tied with Clemens in a big blind, chip leader. And which hands should we 3-bet in the small blind in Samu's shoes? So I will give you 4 options for 4 different hands and you just choose the right one. Now you also know that we are calling 5%, 3-betting 14%, so that should help you quite a lot. We 3-bet pocket checks, queen 10 suited, ace 10 suited, or king 7 suited. Only pocket checks and king 7 suited. So again, most of you got it. Also, a lot of you wanted to 3-bet ace 10 suited, queen 10 suited. So yeah, here's the small blind range. As you can see, also Samu made quite a nice decision. Ace 7 off is in there. Then we have some very clear flats with all of those suited broadways, some suited a6, which just don't want to 3-bet forward or 3-bet call either. Flatting some pockets, and yeah, those suited king X are also chosen as some bluffs here. So hand number 5, we are still 6 left. Again, we will look at the 4-bet jamming range. As you can see, we are still chip leader. Clemens is pretty close. We open raise in the hijack. Yes, and Smiller decides to 3-bet to 4.8 million, so 6 big blinds with a 25 big blind stack. And we have king 7 suited. So my question is, which hands should we 4-bet jam here? Should we jam ace 4 and ace 5 suited now? King 10 suited, pocket queens or pocket aces? And now, like we already...
Oh, come on! Tobi, like...
Got him!
So yeah, this time ace 4 and ace 5 suited is actually correct. King 10 suited, still a pretty nice jam.
This spot the output of your response versus 3-bet is gonna change so quickly dependent on who you're playing against. There's spots where you probably can fold everything and just continue top range, and there's also spots where you probably get to jam everything against some people. So I think whenever this spot gets overbluffed with hands like offsuit ace-x, hands like king-6 off, these type of hands from the big blind, it's a spot where you can attack that range quite a bit. But yeah, against most people, he probably won't.
Also, as you can see, actually he didn't do the right move. Queens are jamming in game.
I think that's also like when I play these spots or when I answer these questions, a lot of my brain is wired around what people are doing, not what the right theoretical, like that's, I think now in the new generation, to say it like this, it's very interesting to see now you have spent much more time studying spots and I have spent more time playing against certain opponents. So like, I know people are not rejamming like queens and jacks. So the sims are so sensitive, like even in like an equilibrium, I didn't even consider that queens through tens are jamming. Like I didn't even think about it. Like I formulated a value range and I was like, okay, this is probably, jacks plus, 10 sensitive. And then against jacks plus, you always get in queens. But of course, if his value range is kings plus, then queens call.
That was probably the most interesting hand. As you can see, we have ace-king. Clemens Reuter has pocket tens and decides to ISO raise to 2.6 million. So 3.5 blinds. Next one is just about the raising part first in. So once again, think about your VPIP range. How much of that you want to raise?
Come on, jetzt hit one time. Come on.
So
Bist du deppert, Alter. 4 haben die ausgewählt.
yeah,
That's
so
a lot of
almost
points.
nothing. 4%. I mean, you could easily simplify to play 0. I don't know how you went for the 4 exactly.
I would have played the spot with 0 raises in game, but I just in case there's some went a little bit to the right, so I still get points for the 0 in case.
Well done.
So as you can see here, basically no raising going on and a lot of limping. Once we VPIP 90%, we just can't really raise that much because just limping that much allows us to like play that much, and also the big blind ante. Now one more spot. What should we do with ace king off now versus the 3.5 ISO? Fold, call, raise not a limp, jam.
We're gambling on this one. Life tells over theory.
I mean,
Good tell, Samu. Did you get it, Fedor?
no. Can you make it bigger? I see some purple,
It's here, it's standing here, it's 0.1%. So
I would love to see the response versus non-all-in, because I thought in game, I got asked about this hand a lot, and my main reasons for deciding to jam was that I thought in game that I'm probably not supposed to have jams, but I think that hands like jacks, queens, ace, queen, tens, the hands that he raises for value are supposed to jam if I 3-bet non-all-in. And I think in game, compared to theory, these hands flat too often. And I go post-flop out of position with ace-king off too often compared to theory. That was one of the reasons why I decided to jam. Another one was that I thought just by taking down this hand pre, even though Clemens had like a very similar stack, I can gain more EV than I'm supposed to in future orbits, because I thought he's not going to be the player who just goes after me and attacks me big stack versus big stack. So those were the main reasons why I decided to jam, and I'm still very happy with the jam, and I think I like jamming over 3-betting non-all-in for the mentioned reasons, if it's true that he's supposed to jam these hands that I just mentioned for equity denial.
here's the range. So did you think it's more crazy than this, or?
Yeah, I thought he's supposed to jam more hands, but I always thought about this spot. My 3-bet size would have been bigger in game, to be honest. I would have went something like 13. So that changes the strategy also quite a bit, because there's way more incentive to jam for him. So yeah, I'm quite surprised by this output. I thought he's gonna jam way more hands. I still think he jams some of them. The question is also, does he even have hands that like ace deuce, ace 3 suited to 5-bet jam? Yeah. If like, I think he might not ISO these hands in the first place. These are pretty easy checkbacks for a lot of players, I think. So I think these hands just ISO in theory to have 5-bet jams. I think those are missing as well.
King on the turn, what a moment.
Ding, 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 ding.
We go on to hand number 8. I actually don't have questions for this. I still wanted to put it in because I think it's quite interesting. So as you can see, it's the hand after ace-king versus tens, and Clemens is auto all in the small blind, and we are sitting on the button. So we know Clemens is definitely into it. So how would you guys play this spot? For me, big points were like the big blind ante, because like let's say Clemens is doubling up. He could fold 5 more hands and we can do a lot of pressure and get very good spots in the next 5 hands. So I think for me, the best case scenario would be to win the pot, win chips, but let Clemens alive. What obviously HSC doesn't consider. And
I think I can shove an insane amount, but I also think there's a little bit of meta also always going on. And this guy in the big blind, I felt like was not 3-betting me very often. I think this hand is a jam in theory. I think I just jam an insane amount here and raise super polarized.
The interesting thing is we actually don't jam that much.
I also wouldn't have jammed that much, to be honest.
Do you think it gets better to jam a lot with having the goal that like Clemens survives, we win chips, and we can have a lot of great spots in the upcoming 5 hands?
So I would have probably jammed like 35, and I want a VPIP 100%, basically for Tobi's reasons. I haven't made my mind up, but I would have experimented with a larger open size as well, whether that even makes sense. But I could see like giving less incentive for the big blind to defend. But maybe also then our risk reward gets too bad. I'm not sure, but I could see this being a thing potentially.
So hand number 9, still 6 left. Clemens doubled up like 17 times in a row. We are sitting on the cutoff here with a huge chip lead now. Clemens has 12.5 big blinds, the small blind has 18, the big blind has 12. We have ace 3 off, and Samu decided to open raise this one. So my question to you is, did he make the right move again? Yes or no?
Samu, can I trust you?
Not 100% confident myself.
I had a very strong intuition, so I just snap clicked it. Always wrong. Like I had like 6 close spots today. I blundered all 6. It's like unbelievable.
I mean, ace 3 is pretty nice because it also makes a lot of better hands fold, right? The weakest ones you jam and then...
Yeah, but it felt like exactly, where like, okay, ace 5, I'm all in. Ace 3, I'm like,
Yeah.
I probably tend to raise.
There's also one thing I want to add to this spot. I probably would have been a little bit less open jam heavy. The big blind in this hand is also very tight, so there was a little bit more incentive. I mean, you can argue in both directions. He's also probably gonna call too tight against all in by maybe a pip, but I think I just get this through, and he doesn't defend his big blind as often.
Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely important to know that we can jam such a wide range here. I mean, always depending on if we think the big blind calls loser or the small blind or whatever, we need to be careful. But yeah, just knowing this is probably pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the Jack 5 suited is certainly not something you see a lot.
All right, let's go on. We are in the small blind, by far chip leader. All of the other guys have almost the same. Smiller has a bit more. So 2 questions for the spot. First one, how much percent do we want to VPIP in the small blind? Second one is just about Clemens Reuter in the big blind. He has king check off and he thought about it for a long time if he wants to call Samu's jam. Should we VPIP 70, 80, 90 or 100?
I was so ready for the slider and then you come with this.
Need to change.
Mix it up. How do I only get 8.99? I snap clicked the answer.
Because there's delay on the stream.
So now, second one, Clemens has king check, 13 blinds I think. Samu open jams, what should he do? Yes, he was right.
Wow, a lot of people folded.
So 100% VPIP, very clear, nothing special. Raising the best, raising the worst, jamming the rest. And in the big blind, he should call king jack off as a bottom. So pretty close, but he did make the right move. So last hand.
I think I did make points from question 8 to 18.
Now we have 4 left. We are in the cutoff, still 81 million. The other guys have 18, 19 and 14.5 at the big blind 1.3. First one, I want to know how much percent can we VPIP in the cutoff? And then the second one, how much percent of that do we jam?
The good old 700k 1.3 million blind level.
Yeah. That was interesting. Slider, so again, select the number.
Oh god.
I had 80.
That's too
80?
tight.
80 seems like... 80 is too tight?
Oh no, it's not, sorry. I thought it's 81.
Oh, Fedor, come on.
joke.
I say 80 and you go 80?
I mean, it's clearly in the 70s.
Alright, last one. How much percent should we jam? 0%, 15%, 35% or 50%?
Fedor, you know that the push-ups have to be paid on stream, right?
Yeah. 20 is a snack.
50%. We are just jamming in it. Everything.
Feel ashamed.
Just seeing the podium. Samu in second. Nice. Well done.
Thank you.
Of course, Bubble wins it. Thanks again for joining. See you.